Radio Scotland.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Oh, baby. Tell me, baby, how can I make it up to you? Well, I feel so stupid, I don't know what to do. Oh, I thought the grass was greener on the other side. I'm sitting here with me, myself, and I. Don't need no whiskey, don't need no wine, don't need no other stuff to cloud my mind. 'Cause I hurt my woman, been so good to me. So bring me a six pack of common sense. What kind of fool would trade his gold for a losing hand? Especially when he got a woman as good as I had. Yeah, you know I took her for granted and treated her so bad, so bad, so bad. Now all I can do is work and try to get my baby back. Don't need no whiskey, don't need no wine, don't need no other stuff to cloud my mind. 'Cause I hurt my woman, been so good to me. So bring me a six pack of common sense. I ain't too proud to beg. You got everything I need. So baby, please let me come back home. I learned my lesson. I know I done you wrong. Don't want no whiskey, don't want no wine, don't need that other stuff to cloud my mind. 'Cause I hurt my woman, been so good to me. So bring me a six pack of common sense. Oh, oh, baby. Oh, I know I done you wrong. Oh, please, baby. I'm hurting every night. Oh, I need you, baby. I need you by my side. Please, please.
You're listening to Ashley's Storrie on BBC Radio Scotland live from Pacific Way, and we are celebrating Hollywood Swingers. If you've just tuned in, if this is your first time listening, Hollywood Swingers is a segment of the show that we do every week where we celebrate those Hollywood movie stars who have swung into music. We have already had, I think, 7? No, we've had 3. We've had 3, haven't we, Paul? Paul went to go and take a drink there and I questioned him. We've had 3. At number 10 we had Betty White. At number 9 we had, I can't see over that
Marlon
Brando. And at number 8 we had star of Miami Vice, Don Johnson.
And Nash Bridges.
Chewing
the scenery, literally.
With Heartbeat. If you've got a favourite Hollywood actor who swung into music, let us know. Maybe we did them this year, maybe we did them last year, maybe we've not done them yet. Get in touch via text 80295, or you can email us. What's the email, Paul?
It's Ashley Storrie Show at bbc.co.uk. Yes, it's working.
It is working now. And we're talking movie etiquette. We're talking about how you behave in the cinemas. Marcy's been in touch and she says, good day from a muggy Sydney. A muggy's a bad one, isn't it? It's just like a heavy, wet heat. Not fun.
It's one of those ones, if you have to walk anywhere, you're done.
Do you call the back of your knee a knee pit?
Yeah.
Your knee pits just get squanchy. It's unbearable.
Back for me.
Oh, is it your back? Oh no, it's not nice. Right, anyways, she says, hope you're both well and in your usual fine form. I hate folk who arrive late for the cinema and clamber over everyone to get to their seat. Those who have mobile phones on, etc. Worst is those bandits who at the scariest part of the movie jump and squeal so hard the ice cream they are holding flips out into the lap of a poor wee man in the seat in front, causing him to have an accident and get up and flee. That was a very specific thing, Marcy. Was that you? Yes, she says. Oh, wait a minute. That was me. LOL. Marcy, what nonsense. Why are you flinging your ice cream at old men in the cinema? What film scared you that much that you had to behave like that, Paul? Have you ever got a really bad fright in the cinema?
Yeah, 100%.
Do you get scared at the cinema?
Because jump scares are designed to make you jump.
I think scary films are scary at home. Scary films aren't scary at the cinema.
I once rented the Ring, like the remake of Ring, the one with
That was like
Naomi
a tongue
Watts.
twister. I once rented The Ring
Rented the Ring. The Ring was rented.
with Naomi Watts. I rented the remake of The
Ryan
Ring.
Reynolds received remuneration
Right, okay,
for
anyway.
a remake of Ring. Yeah, and at the bit where they watch the tape, because in that movie they watch the tape, you die in 7 days. Not only did the DVD break down, someone rang the house at the exact time that
Right.
the DVD broke down.
I had lied at school and said that I had seen Peepers Jeepers.
Jeepers Creepers,
That's
yep.
the one. And then I didn't know there was a whole thing where you hear the song and then you die or something like that. And a bunch of girls to try and scare me because I'd lied and said that my parents had allowed me to see this film when they definitely hadn't, phoned me up and played the Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get them peepers? And I was just singing along.
Yeah, like what?
And I'm like, ooh, I like this song. Thank you for phoning in. Goodbye. Absolutely no idea what I was talking about. Anyway, Maureen says, have a great show. Hope Brenda, Colin, Andrew, Mrs. Harris, Lynn, Ruth Gillett and the rest of the gang are well. Absolutely loved the last episode of your show. Maureen, thank you so much for getting in touch, and I hope that Sydney gets less muggy for you. Get in touch via text 80295. Let us know about your favourite songs from the movies. Also, if you remember any of our Hollywood swingers and you want to say, hey, I've got a favourite Hollywood swinger, get in touch, let us know, and we want to hear from you. Now, this one was quite a lot of people got in touch and said that this artist was one of their favourites.
Strangely, I hadn't factored this in my top 10, and we had to put it in because so many people had asked for it.
So many people had said that this was one of their favourite Hollywood swingers of the year, and I kind of have to agree. It is from the Rocky Horror Show, and funnily enough, we have had people get in touch about cinema etiquette re the Rocky Horror Show, because the Rocky Horror Show is one of the few times where you can go to the cinema, you can shout, you can eat food, you can throw things, you can scream. I used to be a host of Sing Along a Rocky Horror Show. It was one of my favourite jobs. I used to dress up as Eddie's Teddy, and people would throw forks and spoons and cups at my head, and I don't know if that was part of the show or they just didn't like me, but I enjoyed it
Either way,
thoroughly.
it was fun.
And this is a great song from it, and she's a great Hollywood swinger. She's a Hollywood legend. It is Susan Sarandon with Touch Me. Is it? Is it playing, Paul? There we go.
Eventually. Susan.
Couldn't win. I'd only ever kissed before. You mean she? I thought there's no use getting into heavy petting. It only leads to trouble and seat wetting. Now all I want to know is how to go. I've tasted blood and I want more. I'll put up no resistance. I want to stay the distance. I've got an itch to scratch. I need assistance. Touch me. I wanna be dirty. Throw me, chill me, fulfill me. Creature of the night. Then if anything grows, while you pose, I'll oil you up and drop you down. And that's just one small fraction of the main attraction. You need a friendly hand.
Creature of the
Creature of the night.
Creature of the night.
creature of the night.
That was The Filthy Touch Me from Susan Sarandon.
If
Featured,
we had a sub-award of Dirtiest Swinger, that would probably be the winner this year.
featured in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, Dirtiest Swinger, I think. Do you know what? We're going to give him an award. We're just going to do it, because who's going to stop us, Paul? We're giving Dirtiest Swinger of the Year to Susan Sarandon, because that was an absolute delight.
We make the rules up in here, just like Young Gravy.
That has
What
to
a great
be
news story
my
that was.
favourite. That was almost as good as Marie Goujon, just because I like that name. That was brilliant. And then I tried to explain to Paul who Young Gravy was, and he just ignored me entirely. Even though Young Gravy, if you know, you know, went to the Music Awards with Addison Rae's recently divorced mother.
I don't know any of these people's names.
Addison Rae got famous off TikTok, and then she made a film. Do you remember that film with Freddie Prinze Jr.? She's All That.
Yeah.
They remade that film with a gender reversal called He's All That,
Okay.
and it was one of the worst things ever made, and it featured a Kardashian sister, you know, the grumpy Kardashian sister. It featured her, the dead-eyed Kardashian sister.
I don't know any of them.
It featured her, and it was one of the worst things I've ever seen, and Addison Rae was the she who said that he was all that. What do you think of that? And her mum and dad got divorced, and then Young Gravy took her mum to the awards. And now he stole Rick Astley's voice. So it's all happening here on the Ashley Storrie Show. So yeah, Homingmans on Twitter requested Susan Sarandon, and so did Liz. Liz says Susan Sarandon was her number one in terms of Hollywood swingers. Derek says, I don't want to nitpick, but Julie Andrews was more music before, but I'm happy to be corrected. We did address a lot of this during the show, and sometimes we do have reverse Hollywood swingers.
But she wasn't, because she started on the stage.
Yes.
Julie Andrews started on the stage, so she's an actress.
She is an
who
actress.
could just really, really sing. But no spoilers, but there is another person that's in, and we could only really pick one of them because it felt like cheating. So Julie Andrews
Is not.
has missed the cut,
Yes.
but only because another singing legend sneaks in there.
Who?
We'll find out.
Okay, I can't see. I don't really know if they're comparable, Paul, but all right. People not being able to go.
They're not comparable.
People not behaving themselves in the cinema. We'll get to that, Paul. Tom Ury says, I can't go to the cinema. My head explodes with the stress of it. I feel like that as well. The cinema is a very stressful place. That's why I like to go places where I'm on my own, or I'd like to go to my cinema, which only shows television shows and you get dinner on your knee.
What was funny is if you're talking about, well, we're talking about the crowds that you get at the cinema, and one of the crowds that you got that was the rowdiest crowds was for Trainspotting 2 when it came out, particularly
Featuring
the
Tom
scene
Ury.
that featured Tom Ury. If
Yes.
you know it, you know it. I'm not going to go into the specifics of it, but it was very much kind of one side and the other. Both sides found it hilarious for very different reasons.
But they enjoyed it, and that's all that matters,
Yeah.
Paul. What's the worst thing you've seen at the cinema? Have you ever seen something at the cinema where everybody has unifiedly agreed that it was terrible? I have.
The film Gossip with Jesse Jackson. Is
Okay.
it Jesse Jackson?
I don't know.
From, what's his name?
Joshua Jackson.
Joshua Jackson,
From Dawson's
yeah.
Creek.
There's a terrible film, Gossip, that
Uh-huh.
I just could not help myself from just lambasting throughout it, and no one was telling me to shut up.
Okay. There was a film I saw. It was called Deep Sea or Deep Something. And it was two people who got left in the ocean after
Right.
going scuba diving.
Mhm.
And she was incredibly annoying. And at about 45 minutes of them being left at sea, I turned to my friend and I said quite quietly, I really hope they die soon. And everybody laughed. And then people started clapping, and then I bowed. No, that bit didn't happen.
No, that
but I
didn't
wish that did happen. But see, at the end of the film, people were sighing with relief and were so glad because it was such a bad, bad film. Get in touch via text 80295. Do you know what? We're letting it all out here. Let us know the worst film that you ever paid to go see at the cinema. We're not talking about something you saw on a streamer,
No.
because we all see nonsense on streamers. I'm talking about something
Yeah,
you
I
physically
watched
walked.
2 Tomb Raider films last night, and I don't know why.
the ones with Angelina Jolie or the
Yeah.
new ones?
No, the Angelina Jolie.
I didn't know she made two of them. It's a shock. Yeah, we want to know the ones you've actually paid hard cash, gone into a cinema, sat down, watched, and went, I can't believe I have come out of my house for this. Get in touch via text 80295, or you can email us. What's the email, Paul?
Ashley Story Show at bbc.co.uk.
Angel the Trucker says, any chance of a song from The Greatest Showman? And Paul says no. Paul has nixed The
Don't
Greatest
put it
Showman.
on me. Don't
Paul
put it on me.
hates joy and he hates happiness.
I've had to listen to the soundtrack to The Greatest Showman many, many times when my daughter was interested in it. I can't listen to that anymore. I'm sorry.
Can you not?
No.
I've not listened to much of The Greatest Showman. It was just when they thought I was out, they tried to pull me back in. When I had left Sing-Alonga, The Greatest Showman came out and they phoned and were like, we've got a great show. We want you to come back and host it. And I was like, no, thank you. Never again. But I know people enjoyed it, even though it was a very fantastical version of what P.T. Barnum was and wasn't accurate at all to a man who pretty much exploited people in a horrible way for the entertainment of folk. But you know what? That's Hugh Jackman's problem, no mine. Ashley, let it go.
That's just the world of entertainment.
That's just cinema.
You don't know what they do to us after this show comes off the air.
I get
The handlers come in, we get just the muzzles on, and we get put back in cages.
I get a bag of chicken nugs and I get told to shush and calm down. And then Paul, I don't know what happens to Paul, but we're not let out of here. We're kept in the
Neither
attic
do
of
I.
BBC
I think
Scotland.
some form of Clockwork Orange.
Kebab Smith with the Parmesan toes, which is the best name ever of somebody who's texted in, says the folk who drink a 2-litre cola and then need to go for a pee 4 times. That's me. But sometimes I'm not actually going for a pee, I'm just bored and I need to go and say words. Because I've got autism, right? Sometimes like noises. This was something we first discussed on air that I thought everybody did. You know how sometimes noises bubble up in me?
Yeah.
And I need to let them out or I
Yep.
feel like my head's going to
Yes, you
explode.
do.
And I thought everybody felt like that, but they don't. But sometimes I'll be at the cinema and I'll see something that'll annoy me and I won't be able to tell anybody that's factually incorrect. So it'll just bubble inside me and I'll pretend I need to go to a pee and then I'll go to the toilet and I'll be like, that was wrong. I'll just talk to myself in the mirror for a wee minute. That's what I do. Get in touch via text 80295. Let me know the weird things you do at the cinema. We did have somebody asking for Live and Let Die, but I cannot find them. So I'll find you
I'll
during
find
it.
them because it's right here.
Is it in the emails? It's John. Thank you. Okay, John got in touch and he says, hi Ashley and Paul, best movie song for my money, Live and Let Die. We heartily agree. And Fiona is still working, so this is just John's opinion.
Yeah, that's Live and Let Die is not the best Bond song.
And also, finally, somebody's acknowledged it, Paul. Says, great opening today.
There we are.
If you didn't tune in from the very beginning of this show, you missed possibly, I think, one of Paul's greatest feats. It was a great opening, and I'm very glad we did it. Anyway, for John and Fiona in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, here are the Wings with Live and Let Die.